Hi guys, it's your boy the H. Talks comics, films and combat sports. So I'm doing a video in a car quickly just because I was wanting to do this video and get it done, and I didn't have time to go back home, so I just parked up somewhere and just doing this video for you on here quickly. It's a bit different, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Basically what I want to know, and I want to know is what you guys think, is this is the question: is Anthony Joshua on testosterone or TRT, testosterone replacement therapy? And another question, this is probably the headline: does Anthony Joshua have a TUE? A TUE is a therapeutic usage exemption. This means he's exempt from being tested for an overdose of, let's say, TST or TRT, sorry, or testosterone. So basically, if he hasn't got enough testosterone in his body, he can medically get himself subscribed a TUE. Also, that's how a lot of MMA fighters back in the day, I think Chael Sonnen was one of them, who actually, and Vitor, they called him the TRT tour for a while, if you remember that. Basically, TRT's testosterone replacement therapy, which is basically giving you back the supposed testosterone which you are missing in the first place. What's funny about that is a lot of people who are actually seen to actually be missing the testosterone in the first place are usually big guys, strong guys, combat sport guys. Not all the time, but obviously some of them are, some of them can be. And I just find it interesting how these guys even get away with it. They don't get away with it as much in the UFC and the MMA in general now, I'll be honest with you there. They really don't, which is good. I think that's because UFC has a deal with, I believe it's USADA, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they've got a literally company-wide initiative with USADA. So I think that's the main reason why. But boxing obviously doesn't have that. WBC have their own thing, I think, with VADA, or it could even be USADA as well. But that's only WBC, which is one of the main boxing organizations, one of the main boxing parties, I guess, for lack of a better word right now. But no, it's just organising body. Sorry, that was what I was looking for, organising body. WBC is one of the organising bodies. No, it's just annoying for me because basically Dillian Whyte brought it up a few months ago in an interview on IFL, I believe it was. He brought it up and said, oh, Joshua was on TUEs. And then we looked into it. Well, I looked into it, and there's nothing I can find that says Joshua is on a TUE. But on the other hand, there's nothing I can find that says Joshua isn't on a TUE. I can't find any kind of interview or any kind of video. I've spent a few hours looking, and I can't find any. If you guys can, please let me know. I'm not trying to accuse him of anything I don't know. To be honest, it's a weird one because, like, I'll go on a lot of things like Kenny KO and Nick Strength and Power and natural and not natural. Like, when I was young, I used to believe people like Lazar Angelov and bloody people like that were natural. Now, as I'm an adult, I realise they're not, because the biggest natural bodybuilders are roughly, I'm just going roughly, I can't remember exactly, but rough estimate, 5'10" is about 220, 225. 6 foot's about 230, 240. So if you go and buy those like rough guidelines, 6'4" is about 250, 260. Anthony Joshua's what, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", and he gets to what, 240, 250. So he could very well be within the natural limit. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's absurd to say that at all. There's people who I personally know, I ain't gonna name their names, who are about 5'10", 250, 260, and who've got massive proportions all over, who very well could be natural. But yeah, let's be honest, you probably doubt it. At 5'10", 250, 260, you're most likely on something. You're most likely on clenbuterol, Trembolin, insulin growth hormone, human growth hormones, extra. Like, I'm not going to accuse Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but a lot of people think, I'm not saying I am going to accuse him of being on cycling, but there's a lot of people who believe he has his own medics and stuff, and he's rich and he's famous, so he can control it, that he supposedly cycles human growth hormone and clenbuterol. Why I'm saying that is because if you look at him when he was 30, I'm just 29, I'm almost 30, he's much bigger at the age of, well, he's now almost 50, close to 50, he's like late 40s, 47 I believe, but he was much bigger at 41 than he was 31, by about 30 to 40 maybe pounds of pure muscle, not extra fat, pure muscle. Also, if you look at Dwayne Johnson, oh yes, he does train, by the way, don't get it twisted, you can't just jump on steroids and get fucking massive. That's a stupidity. Like, these guys do put in weight, and they do put in their work. I don't want to be fair to him, but I'm being fair to him. Do you know what, if they want to do that, they want to do that. Like I said, there's many wrestlers who've died, people like Eddie Guerrero, who had a heart attack related to that, Ultimate Warrior years later, but related to that. British Bulldog, literally related. That's three off the top of my head, all to do with steroids. Basically, too much, I think it was it was anabolic steroid, too much anabol, and something to do with, I think something to do with nandrolone, something like that. I'm not too aware about nandrolone, so I'm not gonna mention that. I'll mention the ones I know about. But basically, when I was a kid and stuff, I honestly believed, oh yeah, you just eat and bulk and train and stuff. And when I got bigger, like fatter, and then I got leaner and more cut, and like right now I'm in the middle of a cut, and I'm 5'9", I'm 12 stone right now. I want to get down to about 10.5, just cut, lean as hell, cut, and I'll bulk back up slowly. And naturally, you can do that. And people say, oh, Anthony Joshua, look how skinny he was in 2012. I think he's my age. I think he's 29. So in 2012, I was 22, 23. So he was 22, 23, and now he's 29. So if you think about it realistically, I personally don't think it's absurd at all to think he's natural, because he could gain that muscle. I don't know how much he lifted weights. In the first 2 years of lifting weights, you get the rookie gains, as they say, where you gain weights, where you gain muscle quite quickly within the first 2 years, because your body's not used to the constant tension of any weight. So basically, most people grow based on his personal training, his diet, his food intake. I'm sure he's getting about 5,000, 6,000 calories a day, good calories. He's probably got his personal chef. So I think it could be possible, just to be based on the fact he's what? Do you know what? If he's always fighting at 260 to 270 to 80 every single fight, if he's always cut 24/7 and he's not like Floyd Mayweather's height, then you've got to question it. If you're fucking 6'5" and you're shredded and you're about 260 and lean, body fat under 10%, you've got to question that. It's like it's been said that Jeff Said, it's been like, not basically, I won't say proven, because I don't know if it's been proven, but it's been basically very, very likely that Ryan Terry is now on roids. If you look at Ryan Terry 5 years ago, I think you can say he probably wasn't on roids. Now is quite clear that he is. But like I said, that's alleged. In case Ryan Terry's people want to say anything, allegedly he's probably clearly on roids. Just look at the diameters of a neck. Look at the biceps. Look at their forearms. Basically, look at if they've been training. If they've been training from, let's say, 18 to 28, and you see a gradual improvement, a realistic improvement, and their body fat and body weight fluctuates, that's highly realistic to be natural, because your body weight will fluctuate. But if they've been like Jeff C, supposedly 18 to whatever he's now, 24, 25, they're completely shredded all year round, under 10% body fat. That's the key. If you're under 10% body fat the whole year through, it's very, very unlikely for you to be natural. And that is just simply because it's not natural for your body to be at such a low body fat percentage. You need a certain amount of fat to keep you warm, to insulate yourself, and basically to just have the human body work. That's what I'm trying to explain. My own little brother trains. He's gained quite a lot of muscle in the last couple of years, but he's only really trained the last couple of years. I'd say maybe, I have to ask him, I think maybe 2 years. And at times he wasn't training fully seriously, and at times he wasn't following a program. Then he got into a program, lifted heavy for low reps, and he bulked up, and he wasn't enjoying his abs because he wasn't seeing his abs as much. So he started cardio again because he did a run. We used him as a great example. And then as soon as he did cardio, he got shredded. He got abs now, so now he's back to having abs. And while his arms and stuff might not be as physically big, they actually look better aesthetically, because you could be about 20 pounds less in weight, but when you take your top off, you look much bigger, because muscle, not, people say it weighs more than fat. Yeah, it's not just that, it actually aesthetically looks bigger. If you show someone 10 pound of muscle, you're like, wow, that looks actually big, especially on a human body. Like, the shoulders look nice, the triceps look good, the biceps look big. It's all about angles and all this kind of rubbish as well. So no, I haven't got an issue with people doing roids if that's what they're going to do. I personally don't agree with it. I don't see the point, like possibly killing yourself. For The Rock, he does it for obviously his acting roles and stuff for that. Arnold Schwarzenegger's actually gone into it. But for Anthony Joshua, I just find, I don't know, it's a hard one. It's a very hard one because I've never met Anthony Joshua. Do you know what I mean? I've met a lot of boxers. I've met Chisora actually. And back when I met Chisora was a few years ago when I worked at a Zimbabwe night in Dunstable when he was down there. I actually do a video about that actually because I think that might get some views. So I'll do a video about that sometime. But no, I've met Chisora, I've met Woody Harrison, all that, and they're all big guys. They don't look naturally shredded all the time. They look like they gain weight. I'm pretty sure Chisora does gain weight in between camps. Like AJ doesn't look fat ever, but then he might just be living that lifestyle. He might be living the life. Chris Eubank, I know for a fact that no one ever says he's here or anything because he's smaller. Floyd Mayweather, obviously, no one ever says anything because he's smaller. Someone like Manny Pacquiao, people say, was he on juice because he went all the way from like flyweights to atom weights to flyweights, all the way up to welterweights and more. So obviously, that's a question. I don't know. None of us really know the answer, but brings me back to, in a circle, the main point. Is he on TUEs? If he is, I'd like to know what the reasoning is, because obviously he looks like he's physically strong. He's young. He's still very young for a heavyweight boxer. Yeah, like you said, you can't imagine a scenario where he needs TUE, a therapeutic usage exemption, particularly for, let's say, testosterone or HGH, human growth hormone. But like I said, I've never seen an interview where he denies it, or also I've never seen an interview where he admits it. So I'd like to know what the case is, and I'd like to, I'd like to put this question out to you guys. Do you think Anthony Joshua is on a TUE, a therapeutic usage exemption? Let me know in the comments. Cheers, guys.